Hello everyone, welcome back to High Stakes. My name is Brian. I'd like to start this video by asking for your support in 2 simple steps. First, please subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to push the bell icon so you don't miss any of our daily betting videos. Second, give this video a like, it really helps the algorithm boost our visibility. Now before we dive in, for those interested in receiving more premium betting tips and predictions, if our guidance has helped you win bets and generate revenue, we kindly ask for your support in revitalizing this channel. Your assistance is crucial in strengthening our presence on YouTube. Feel free to explore our Patreon support tier or check out our other options. Thank you. San Francisco Giants vs Cleveland Guardians. The San Francisco Giants are holding their head above water as they are third in the NL West with a 44-45 record. Rookie right-hander Hayden Birdsong gets the ball here and is coming off a victory over the Atlanta Braves where he pitched 5 innings and gave up 2 runs on 4 hits with 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. The Cleveland Guardians continue to dominate as they are leading the AL Central with a 5-4-3-2 record thus far. Veteran righty Carlos Carrasco takes the mound for this game and is coming off a no decision against the Chicago White Sox as he threw 6 innings and allowed 3 runs on 4 hits with 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. The San Francisco Giants have been right at average this season offensively as they are 15th in MLB with a .706 team ops while scoring 4.43 runs per game up to this point. They have been doing very well in terms of drawing walks as they are 7th in the sport with 295 total walks as a team. Third baseman Matt Chapman has been doing a decent job at the plate as he has a .746 ops with 12 home runs, 42 RBI, 56 runs scored and 7 stolen bases on 8 tries. The Cleveland Guardians have been doing a decent job as the team is 11th in baseball with a .730 team ops while averaging 4.95 runs per game thus far. The ability to steal bases helps the team be successful as they are tied with the Chicago Cubs and Los Angeles Angels for 8th place with 74 stolen bases while being caught 28 times. Left fielder Steven Kwan has been hitting incredibly well as he has a .951 ops with 8 homers, 26 RBI, 50 runs scored, and a 21-22 walk-to-strikeout ratio. Hayden Birdsong may not be the perfect pitcher, but he does the benefit of hitters not knowing what to expect. Carlos Carrasco has been getting hit this season as in 6 starts at Progressive Field, he is 2-3 with a 4.555 ERA and a .294 batting average against over the course of 31.2 innings. Beginning an inning offensively on the right foot is critical for success. The Giants are 5th in baseball with a .761 team ops when leading off an inning, while the Guardians are tied with the Toronto Blue Jays for 21st with a .653 team ops leading off an inning. Go with the San Francisco Giants to win here. Carlos Carrasco has been struggling throughout the season according to his Baseball Savant page, as he is in the 22nd percentile in ZERA, 24th percentile in XBA, 26th percentile in whiff percentage, and 27th percentile in strikeout percentage. Carrasco has a 6-pitch arsenal: fastball, slider, changeup, sinker, curveball, sweeper, and his best pitch has been his curveball as hitters have a .067 batting average and a .200 slugging percentage against it. He faced the Giants once last season as a member of the New York Mets and did not factor into the decision as he pitched 5 innings and gave up 2 runs on 5 hits with 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. Hayden Birdsong is the 6th-ranked prospect for the San Francisco system and has not pitched enough to factor into the percentile rankings on his Baseball Savant page. He has a 92.9 mph average exit velocity, 11.9 walk percentage, 18.5 barrel percentage, and a 25.0 chase percentage. He has 4 different pitches: fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, and his fastball has to improve as hitters are 5 for 16 against it with a pair of homers. It will be interesting to see how he does facing the Guardians for the first time. These starting pitchers have been struggling to put zeros on the board throughout the last stretch of games. Hayden Birdsong has a 4.66 ERA and a 1.55 whip in his first 2 starts in the majors, while Carlos Carrasco is 1-3 with a 5.05 ERA and a 1.21 whip in 35.2 innings throughout his previous 7 starts. For the last few weeks, these teams have been scoring runs, as in the last 13 games the Giants are averaging 4.62 runs per game, while the Guardians are scoring 4.54 runs per game in that span. Go with the over as the better bet for this game. Detroit Tigers vs Cincinnati Reds. The Detroit Tigers 41-48, 4.7380 OU, will be taking on the Cincinnati Reds 42-47, 38-47 OU on Sunday afternoon in the final game of a 3-game interleague series. The Tigers were able to win the first 2 games of the series, including a 5-3 win on Saturday. Southpaw Tarik Skubal 9-3, 2.45 ERA is going to be pitching in this game for Detroit, while Cincinnati is sending young right-hander Graham Ashcraft 5-4, 5.45 ERA to the hill. The Detroit Tigers have been struggling this season as the team is 4th in the AL Central with a 41-48 record and have been doing decently well as of late. The Tigers are 26th in MLB with a .670 team ops while averaging 4.11 runs per game thus far. The Cincinnati Reds have been playing pretty poorly throughout the season as we pass the halfway mark. The team is 4th in the NL Central right now as they have a 42-47 record heading into this game. The Reds have been hitting at a lesser level at the plate right now as they have a .226/.302/.378 team/line and are scoring 4.28 runs per game. In the previous 7 starts for these pitchers, there is a significant difference between their production. Tarik Skubal is 3-2 with a 2.72 ERA and a 1.05 whip in 43.0 innings, while Graham Ashcraft is 2-2 with a 7.36 ERA and a 1.64 whip in 33.0 innings of work in that stretch. These lineups are on 2 completely different levels when looking at how they have been performing in the last week of action. The Tigers are scoring 5.33 runs per game in their last 6 games, while the Reds are averaging 3.83 runs per game in that same 6-game stretch. Detroit also has a very slight edge at hitting with runners in scoring position when you encompass the entirety of the 2024 MLB season so far. The Tigers are 7th in Major League Baseball with a .804 team ops in those situations, while the Reds are trailing right behind them in 8th place with a .792 team ops with runners in scoring position up to this point. All in all, go with the Detroit Tigers to secure a win on the road and wrap up a sweep against a struggling Cincinnati Reds ball club. The Reds have been depending on the production from shortstop Elly De La Cruz .813 ops, 43 SB, and he needs to figure out how to stay hot as he has a .913 ops in his last 26 games played. Young righty Graham Ashcraft 5-4, 5.45 ERA will be on the mound and is coming off a win against the New York Yankees, where he gave up 3 runs on 4 hits with a pair of walks and 3 strikeouts in 5 innings. Second baseman Colt Keith .646 ops, 27 runs, has been unable to get going this season, but has been on fire lately with a .945 ops in his last 12 games. Left-hander Tarik Skubal 9-3, 2.45 ERA has been pitching at an outstanding level, but is coming off a no decision against the Minnesota Twins, where he pitched 6 innings and allowed 3 runs on 4 hits with a walk and 7 strikeouts. Neither one of the first 2 games of this series saw these teams eclipse 9 total runs, so why would we expect that to happen now? Hunter Greene pitched 7 shutout innings on Saturday, so this Tigers lineup can be neutralized. These bullpens have been able to do enough to keep their teams in the game as Detroit is 20th with a 4.30 reliever ERA, while Cincinnati is up in 7th place with a 3.62 bullpen ERA this season. Both offenses have been aggressive at the plate and not taking their free passes, as the Tigers 247 are tied with the Baltimore Orioles for 27th in the league, while the Reds 276 are 14th in baseball. Go with under 8.5 runs in this game as the best option going forward. Chicago White Sox vs Miami Marlins. The Chicago White Sox 26-65 are gearing up to take on the Miami Marlins 31-58 in interleague action at Lonepot Park. The Marlins were able to secure a 4-3 home win on Saturday. Rookie right-hander Jonathan Cannon gets the start for Chicago, while young righty Edward Cabrera pitches for Miami. The Chicago White Sox have been playing extremely poorly this season as they are last in the AL Central, as they are 31.0 games back in the division and 23.5 games behind in the AL wildcard. Their offense has been absolutely brutal as they are 29th in the league with a .632 team ops and scoring 3.2 runs per game. The team has been struggling to hit for power as they are 27th in MLB with 80 total home runs thus far. Shortstop Paul DeJong has been doing a decent job at the plate as he has recorded a .236/.285/.450/line with 16 home runs, 36 RBI, 36 runs scored, and a pair of steals while being caught once. At this point, players on the White Sox are playing as an audition for their next team or for their own contracts. The Miami Marlins have been brutal as well as they are last in the NL East standings and are 27.5 games behind in the division and 15.5 games back of the final spot in the NL wildcard. The Marlins have been terrible offensively as the team has a .231/.281/.349/ line while averaging 3.47 runs per game up to this point. The team is young but not a threat on the base paths as they are tied with the Minnesota Twins for 24th place with just 45 stolen bases right now. Center fielder Jazz Chisholm has been hitting well as he has a .740 ops with 10 home runs, 40 RBI, 37 runs scored and 16 steals on 24 tries. This team needs to figure out a plan if they want to have a future going forward. Jonathan Cannon has allowed 11 runs in his last 6.2 innings, and that is not going up against strong lineups, as that was against the Detroit Tigers and at home against the Colorado Rockies, meaning there was no Coors Field excuse. Edward Cabrera has been one of the top young pitchers and is coming off a chance to work on his issues in the rehab starts. In his 6 starts in the minors this season, Cabrera was pitching to a 2.38 ERA and a .22 opposing batting average. It's hard to argue the White Sox lineup is much better than what he has been facing. Go with the Miami Marlins to secure a win at home in this game. Young righty Edward Cabrera will be on the mound for the Miami Marlins, and he is pitching poorly as in 5 games. He is 1-2 with a 7.17 ERA and a 1.59 WHIP in 21.1 innings. His command has been brutal as Cabrera has 14 walks in 21.1 innings thus far. Cabrera is making his first start since May 7th, where he was placed on the 60-day injured list with a right shoulder impingement. The White Sox are going to have rookie right-hander Jonathan Cannon on the mound, and he has been able to pitch at a decent level in his first 8 games, 7 starts of his career. He is 1-2 with a 4.62 ERA and a 1.31 WHIP in 39.0 innings of work, while also recording a save. Hitters have been able to make consistent contact against him as they have a .233 batting average against him. Cannon is coming off a no decision against the Colorado Rockies last time out, where he pitched 5.2 innings and allowed 3 runs on 3 hits with 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. 2 of the worst lineups in Major League Baseball make the under an easy target. When looking at the previous 14 games heading into Sunday's matchup, the White Sox are scoring 3.93 runs per game, while the Marlins are averaging just 3 runs per game in that span. Edward Cabrera and Jonathan Cannon have a lot of upside and should do well at shutting down miserable starting lineups. Go with under 7.5 runs in this game as the better pick.